Laura Geller. I get asked about this name very often as a makeup artist. I have so many clients, so many friends, so many people I see online and forums always asking the same questions. Is Laura Geller worth the hype? And is she really good for mature skin? We're going to talk about it today in this episode. I've been wanting to do this for a while. And for those of you who have been around my channel for a long time, you know how I have kind of felt about Laura Geller. But a few things, a few products I've found where the tide started changing. We're going to talk about it all today. So if that interests you, stick around and we'll dive right on into it. All right, guys, so welcome. If you're new here, I'm Cher. We do a lot of different beauty topics on the channel, and I am actually 46 years old. I have mature, dry skin. So a lot of the beauty product recommendations that I tend to make on the channel and tend to shop for are definitely geared towards mature skin. And then I also do some freelance makeup too. So I work with a lot of different clients of all different ages. And honestly, I get asked a lot by those with more mature skin about Laura Geller, but then I also see some younger folks who ask about it as well. So let's talk about what is the appeal of Laura Geller and what is it that attracts people, I think. So I think the first thing that I always notice is that a lot of her starter kit type products are really geared towards your kind of one and done makeup. Very simple and easy, great for travel and portable, but also sort of multi-steps in one palette. So she tends to make these palettes that are, they have your eyeshadow and your blush and your bronze and maybe even a powder all in one kit. And I think that that is a huge part of the appeal is folks who are maybe new to makeup or want something very simple and easy and quick, just, to have everything in their routine that they can just throw on very quickly before they start their day, or, when they're traveling, they've just got one and done kit. So it makes things really easy for you. You have everything that you need right there. And a lot of it tends to be fairly natural, neutrals in shades a lot of times, and just kind of universal for a lot of people as far as the utility and use goes, I think. So I think that's a big part of the appeal of it. I think the part that always had me a little bit confused, though, was that she markets herself to mature skin. I've really kind of questioned this, especially in the past, because everything I tried from her did not, in my opinion, seem to be as mature skin friendly. A lot of her products I found are very drying. But a lot of folks in my YouTube audience were giving me some recommendations and they're like, she does make some great products. Here's the ones I really recommend. So I actually ended up picking up some of these products that you guys have recommended to me. And then I found a few along the way that I've just stumbled on from the beauty boxes that did wow me. So that's what I want to do today is a Laura Geller try-on video where we're going to use all Laura Geller products. Some of these are brand new for me, so we're going to do some first impressions and see if these ones you guys have recommended are indeed winners. And then a couple of other ones that I've already done from my beauty boxes and absolutely love and can recommend to you. So today is going to be all about what products do I truly recommend for mature skin and for simple minimalist makeup, beginner friendly makeup as well from Laura Geller. So this is a best and worst of Laura Geller in my opinion kind of video. So let's get started. So we're going to start doing makeup and I'm going to go in the order that I normally would, but we're going to walk through everything. I've tried a few things, but I've decluttered them. So I'll try to fit in here what I have done before as we walk step by step of things I don't recommend and what I thought of them, but then things I do recommend. So we're going to start off with eyeshadow, just because I don't have anything from her in brows or like concealer. So I've already kind of primed my eyes a little bit. So we're going to start with eyeshadow. This is the first eyeshadow palette that I have found from her that I love. This is called the Candy Cravings 12 Multi-Finish Eyeshadows. It has a highlighter and a blush in it. That's another thing is her palettes have very long, complicated names a lot of times. Now this is called Laura's Essentials. but a lot of them don't have like a name. It's like 12 pan eyeshadow with highlight and blush, you know, and you're like, okay, what palette is that? But anyway, look at this gorgeous palette. We just got this in Ipsy recently, and I thought it was so appropriate for spring, and I was so happy that I finally found one I liked. I will say the formula is still slightly drier, but I feel like the formula on this one is a lot better than on a lot of her other palettes. So I'm going to put on the screen for you the ones I have tried if I can find them. One is this kind of, it had more autumn colors. I think it was the wildflower, and it's all very yellows and gold tones and whatnot. Then I have another fall one that was more oranges and bronze colors. Have decluttered both of those. I've also tried a all-in-one starter kit type palette. This was my sister's, and I kind of just gave you guys a tour of it. This was a very like basic kind of starter kit. You've got your eyeshadow in there and some bronze and blush and all. I still feel like it was extremely drying. Was not thrilled with it myself. However, this one kind of changed the game for me. So we're going to play with this one today. And of course, what I love about it is I'm a pink girl. I love pinks. And this offers you the perfect, like really soft pinks and pastels type looks on the eyes that I honestly create a lot in like bridal makeup when somebody wants a pink look. And so this has been really pretty for that. I'm going to come in here with that caramel color right there and just start popping some on the eyes. I'm going to go fairly simple today. And we're going to make it like an arch in the transition of my eyes. And then I'm going to take the tiniest little pop of, I don't know, I'm going to go with that one. This is called Toffee. Little V almost, side V. I'm going with a very fluffy brush. I would normally do less than that, but I'm trying to keep it just very simple. This is if you really enjoy different eyeshadow palettes, if you want to play with some and you love these kind of colors. It doesn't come as like all basics, but it is still somewhat multifunctional because it includes a blush and highlight in it. And then you can even use these on your eyes as well as you want if you wanted to. So it does have some extra steps in it. And so even a lot of her eyeshadow palettes are not just straight eyeshadow. They'll usually include a blush and a highlight or a bronze and a highlight or something. So again, a little bit of that appeal of the multifunction even in her eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to pop on just the tiniest little bit of this bubble gum, but I'm not going to go ultra crazy. I'm just going to kind of pop it into and blend it into my other colors here just so it adds a little more pink twist. Let's see, should I do white chocolate or butterscotch? I think I'll go with this one, which is white chocolate. And I am just going to kind of pop it on my lids with my finger. And already you're getting this pretty pop of shimmer here. And then I'm going to take a little corner brush. I'm going to try laying down just this white, like more, or it's more of a butterscotch color. It's called Sweet Tooth. I'm going to put this kind of more in my corners here and bring it up into the lid like this. And there we have it. We're starting to build this pretty, just light, soft like pinks. And then if you want to come in for a little extra pop, I'm going to put the highlight even more on top of that shimmer. And I'm going to put it especially in the middle here, especially as a mature skin person. Putting the light kind of in the center of your eyes is a really good effect to kind of add like 3D depth on your lids so they look fuller and increases a little real estate. And it's one of the nice techniques you can use for mature skin just in your eyeshadow. So I went with that with the highlight, and how pretty does that look? It's just really perfect, like soft shades, and you can go a little pinker on it if you want. We could pop in a little more of this nougat color. I don't know if you want everything just a little bit more pink, just kind of add, you can sweep it back across that way, finish your look, you name it. And then I'll put a little dab under to balance it all out. A little bit of the truffle too, just to add some darker but diffused color under the eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and add some eyeliner and mascara because I don't have any of those things from her. I'll do that off camera and I'll be right back. All right, so here is just a simple eyeshadow look, very pretty. I love the soft sparkles it gives. And of course, I'm wearing a red shirt today, so it, you know, sometimes when you pair this with a red, it's making it almost take on like a mauve or almost grayer tone. With a pink shirt on, this really brings out the pink out of it. But I love this palette. So if you're looking for Laura Geller eyeshadow or multi-use that has eyeshadow and some blush and highlight or something, this is the one I'd recommend. If you're looking for the multi-use function, I just personally don't feel like a lot of her other starter kit palettes are really your best bet, your best way to go. There's a lot of other multi-use palettes out there that are not Laura Geller that will give you that same feel. One, for example, I have the Whoosh palette. Okay, this is a fabulous one for travel. I've done this in the past. I've actually emptied it and like hit pan on a lot of stuff on it, which rarely happens for me. I don't hit pan on things because I have a lot of different palettes, but I did hit pan on this particular one. I was using it like every day and for travel, and it has everything you could need. It has eyeshadow, it has bronze, blush, even darker colors for eyeliner, has concealer, it has your setting powders, everything. The only thing that's missing out of this palette would be mascara. So you could get this whole thing and you have an entire look in your makeup, and then just add mascara and you are done. And you can also use it for brows. You know, use some of those darker colors or bronze colors, depending on what shade your brows are. You could just get you a little pomade brush, you're all set. So there's palettes like that that are still multifunctional that I think are better formulas than Laura Geller's. That is my personal, just my recommendation, because I just feel like the Laura Geller ones are really drying. But if you want something like this, definitely recommend this one. I would go ahead and show you guys the blush in this and how it works, but we're going to do some other blush in a minute from Laura Geller that I love. So we're going to test those out instead. We're going to go ahead and move on now to a brand new product I have never tried from her, but this is the #1 thing everybody has recommended to me is her Spackle Primer. Sorry. And there were 2 different options. You could get the OG regular one, or you get the hydrating kind. I figured I was going back and forth because I thought, well, I should probably try the OG since that's probably what everybody else has tried and recommended. But I just automatically know her stuff tends to run drier. So I'm going to go with the hydrating one. And when it comes to mature skin, usually, and not always, but it tends to be that we get drier skin as we get older. And so chances are, if you're coming to Laura Geller because you have, you know, mature skin, I don't feel like all the dry and matte formulas are what you want to go for. I don't feel like the powders are what you want to go for. You want to go for hydration. And I think that's part of what I'm not as crazy about with a lot of her baked products is they're dry, they're in powder form. So if you want to use like her foundation, you know, or baked foundation as like a finishing powder, that's one thing, like on top of your cream makeups and your liquid makeups. Okay, I understand that better, but everybody uses it as their foundation and it's a drying powder form, which is not better for mature skin, even in that baked format. I also really found that her baked formulas, you know, they say like correct, balance and correct. They're really hard to shade match. They come off so much darker and tanner and oranger than how they look and like what I normally buy for in my shade. So it's strange for me. I don't really even recommend the baked foundations like everybody else recommends. I know a lot of people rave about her baked products, and I'm just not a fan personally. I don't feel like they're better for mature skin. All right, but let's try out this one. It is the hydrating option. So we're gonna see, I'm gonna put it on one side of the face at first so that you can see the difference between both sides and see if there's one side that looks better. All right, so let's go for over here. I'm just gonna kind of go ahead and start putting it on. I would normally do this on a pan and then brush it on, but let's just go for it. And I kind of tend to stipple a lot of times or sweep it on for more natural, for like foundations and stuff, but I do like to stipple a lot because it kind of packs it in. And you see I have some fun little friends popping up today, so we're going to see how coverage goes in a minute on those. So perfect timing to be able to share with you guys. All right, so what do we think about this primer? It is actually hydrating. So picking the hydrating one is key. A lot more hydrating than even some of the other primers I've tried. So that is more hydrated. How are we feeling about it? So here's the side without primer. Here's the side with. I mean, I do feel it's giving a smoothness, but honestly, kind of feels like a moisturizer to me, not a primer. And now it's starting to dry in a little. So let's see. I mean, yes, I am seeing like the smoothness and a hydrated radiance. I'll be honest with you, it's almost burning a little. Not burning bad, but like it has a tingling as it's drying into my skin. Okay, but as you look from a distance here, I am seeing a good bit of smoothness on this side versus this one, right? And hydration on this side versus this one. So far she's winning points by getting the hydrating kind. Hydrating. I don't know how the OG is to tell you, but I would definitely recommend more hydration when it comes to dry skin. So just from touching it, how do I feel about the primer? Not nearly as smooth and silky as some of my favorite primers. Of course, I really have been spoiled by, my favorite primer probably of all is Lancome. Have found recently Tatcha Silk Canvas is my cruelty-free kind of alternative to that. So if I had to compare this to those favorites, I like those better than this for sure. But I do feel like this is giving a it's hydrating, but it's starting to feel very firm. Like I feel like it almost has a firming effect on my skin, which is actually good in mature skin because firmness, that's something we lose in mature skin. We want something to tighten up and firm our skin. So this primer is almost acting like a firming moisturizer in how it feels, in my opinion. But it is as it dries down, it is starting to feel more like a primer, if that makes sense. So the things that are included in it, it has nourishing shea butter and jojoba seed oil, and it has antioxidants like camellia extract and sunflower extract that soothe and brighten the complexion. And then it also has squalane. I think I can tell it's got the squalane in it. And then also aloe vera to calm and to promote even skin tone. So yes, I am seeing that. If you look at me from a distance, I hope the camera is picking up on this. I really can see a big difference on this side in like my skin tone, the evenness. I almost don't even need foundation. Look at that. I do feel like I need some foundation in here, some of this redness here, but like as far as the smoothness of my skin is looking, I think I am impressed. I think you guys picked me a good one. So yes, we might be able to say, I like the Laura Geller Spackle Primer. Let me finish the other side and then we're going to move on to foundation. Okay, so the foundation will also help us kind of see how the primer is going, but I ended up getting the lightweight tinted moisturizer, and some of you have recommended this to me as well. Now, I already know I don't like the big foundation, so I didn't even I didn't even bring that into this video. I wanted to bring things that I think are going to be helpful for mature skin. And so a tinted moisturizer, I definitely automatically recommend a lot more for mature skin, like the kind of the most thin layers of foundation you can do are going to be better usually, so that it doesn't cake up and show off the fine lines and wrinkles more, but still give you a little coverage, hopefully. So we're going to try this out, and it's also called Quench and Tint. To me, quench implies thirst, hydration, water, hopefully. I got the shade Light, so let's see how the shade match goes as well. Put it on this side first as well. I'm gonna put it right on these spots. These are the spots I really want to cover today. Some little friends that popped up, and you can see age spots. I do have age spots in these places, especially mature skin, another, problem area. So those are always where I really go heavy on coverage and really want to test it out that way. But with that mature skin, there's always the balance of, not too heavy and cakey and settling into cracks, but still giving you enough coverage of some of these things like age spots, discoloration, hyperpigmentation, all of that. All right, it looks like it won't be too bad of a shade match, but it is a little tanner maybe. No, it's starting to match, I think. I'm usually a light neutral in most of my foundations, so. But I was not able to go by that on the Bake foundation. It was crazy, crazy orange tan in that shade. I'm trying to do some of this and see how it looks without like color correcting and all of that. We're just going to see if there's any color correction in this tinted moisturizer as well. We'll see. Because I have a lot of redness today. Not covering a lot down here. We didn't put primer down there either. But look at this finish. Ooh. I think I do like it. Not a lot of coverage here. That little guy's wanting to pop through, and that little guy wants to pop through. But the finish is looking beautiful. Definitely beautiful. So yeah, not a whole lot of coverage you're going to get out of this. Now, you don't tend to get coverage out of tinted moisturizers, but sometimes they surprise you, and they do. So I think it'll be really pretty though. And what you can do is you can come back in with even just some spot touch-ups on places if you want to cover it a little bit more, like with a concealer that matches your skin tone, not one that's like too bright or one that's color correcting, and just kind of lightly touch over any problem spots you have. If you want just a little extra coverage to go with that tinted moisturizer. But yeah, I do like that. I think I do like it. So Laura Geller is winning. So I think that this has been my struggle in the past, is that a lot of the products people do recommend of Laura Geller's are these very dry, powdery formats of hers, because they're easier. Some people just don't like dealing with liquid, I think. And unfortunately though, my recommendation for older skin is liquid or cream or hydration. It's all about hydration. So I think that's where I have struggled in the past with her products. And the purpose of this video today was I wanted to show you, okay, if you want to do Laura Geller, here's what I think is more mature skin friendly. I think another thing too is she does have products that are just a lot more on the natural side. I'm putting a little more coverage here because this is where my worst age spot is, and we'll just see if we can cover it or not. So she does have a lot of products that don't give a huge amount of coverage. And I think that may be the draw too, is people are not always looking for a lot of heavy, cakey makeup, and they can kind of come to her more for thinner products. But like I said, still, she has some pretty drying products that people are going for that I don't think are going to be your best bet. So I love it. I think we have a winner on both of these. Thank you guys who suggested these products to me. I do like them. Now at this point, if you did want to come back in with powders, like I'll use powder, I do setting powders more to set like where I've put concealer, usually very lightly for mature skin. If you wanted to come in with a foundation powder too, like a pressed powder on top of that, that's where I think maybe her baked foundation can come play into this, but I'll go very, very light-handed and be very careful about your shade matching. Because again, is her shade matching, it really throws me on her baked foundations. They do have kind of like a glazed look on the top. So when you put that baked foundation on, it does give you a little bit more glowy look in the appearance, but it's weird. It's like it's drying, but with a glow. Okay, so, so use it sparingly to dust on top of your liquid though, is my suggestion if you're going to use it. All right, let's talk about her blush now. Now the problem is I have a new blush to try, but I have blush compacts from her, and then we have several blushes, so I'm like, I don't know which one to use. I could just layer them all and we try them out. So the first thing that I have done that I love, I've gotten a couple of cheek palettes. Both of these actually came in my Macy's beauty box recently, and I absolutely love these. Now, one of them, the first one we tried, this is the Multitask Eye, Lip, and Cheek Palette. And it's in the shade Think Pink is the shade ranges. 2 cream-based ones and then a powder. And that powder is wonderful for highlight, but these are like creamier products. And so this is what made me start changing my mind about Laura Geller. When I started trying these, they are stunningly beautiful. I've used them mostly on my cheeks, but I have done an entire look where this is so multifunctional. They're beautiful for eyes too. So I've done a look where I did eyes, I did the cheeks and the lips and highlight. So you can do so much with this, and it makes the most beautiful pink, glowing, gorgeous goddess look that is hydrated and luminous, and highly recommend that for mature skin. Then I got this little palette. This is called the High Def Duo, and it's in the shade range Blooming Rose. It's not that rosy though. It's a powder blush, so a powder blush duo. On me, it makes a little bit even more salmon color, but maybe because maybe that color in there. Love this one too. It gives a fantastic pop of color, but this is more of your powder version. But even though this is powder, I have not found it to be ultra drying. And it's just the perfect pigment where it's got enough color that it really pops, but it's not so much that you're like, ah, when it goes on. So perfect blend too. So her blush, I recommend. I love some of her blush. We're going to try a new blush though. So I think I'll start with this and maybe we'll layer with these others if we want to. So this is a serum blush cheek tint. So I've been curious about it, and I got the shade Poppy Peach, which is probably brighter than most people, especially that are like coming to Laura Geller for simple and, you know, starter and all of that. They might not go for the bright colors as much, but I wanted to go towards this one, and these colors tend to look better on me. And I think that is another thing to think about with mature skin too, guys, is that sometimes you get scared and you think you're too old for bright, you know, blush and makeup. But to be honest, blush is where you can really look younger, and it's very in. It is all the rage right now. Blush is everything at the moment. How do we use this, guys? It has the little sponge at the top. And don't be scared of the bright colors, because you can always start off slow and build it up. It doesn't have to be crazy. But really adding that flush is really what is going to add youth to your cheeks and to your face. So you guys, this whole time I thought it was filming and it wasn't, and you missed all the blush. I'm going to redo a little bit of it or just re-demonstrate. I wanted to tell you I love this. It is stunning, and it is serum based. So this is the Serum Blush Cheek Tint, okay? This is the shade Poppy Peach. I can't remember where it cut off, if it told you that or not. So my recommendation is to apply it to the hands like this. And can you see how that is serum based in there? Doesn't that look gorgeous and so hydrating? It is stunning, and it has such a glow and such a luminous feel. It sinks into the skin and blends out beautifully. So it gives you this like glow of flush from underneath, but it's treating the skin too, because it's like got serum and skincare benefits, which is so perfect for mature skin. Then I'm gonna come just dab my brush into that and apply it. And I'm sorry now that you guys can't see it as well, because this whole time I thought I was filming all this blush I just did. So I'm gonna have a lot of blush today, but just to kind of give you a feel, like that flush there is what was going on my cheeks. It is absolutely stunning, and I highly, highly recommend this one. Now, then what I did was I came in, and I've been layering blush this whole time thinking it was filming, and I put this palette on top, and I went with that color right there, which gives us a little more of like a balmy glazed finish and look on the top, which is still gorgeous and glowing too, and highly recommend for mature skin as well. And then I came on top of that and I threw on this highlight along the cheeks here. Now I'm really giving myself a glow because I'm coming back over what I already did. And what a gorgeous like pink tinted glow there. Isn't that gorgeous? I just applied a little dab of the highlight along the brow bone and a little bit right here in the corners too. Then I followed up with this one, which is all powder, and it is called the High Def Duo in Blooming Rose. So if you want more matte, this one would be more it. I still think this is a great one because it's not that drying or anything. So one of her few powder ones that's not drying, but it gives you this gorgeous pop of color that's more of a, you know, powder format. Just come in and throw a little more on top of that. And sometimes it is good to like set a cream product with a powder one anyway. So you can kind of think of this as like setting your cream blush you just did and layering with more blush at the same time. And I really don't even have on any contour or bronze. It's up to you if you want to add contour bronze. You know, sometimes when we have mature skin and we're getting older, we lose all that collagen and that lifted fullness in our face. And contouring can honestly, you know, contour kind of sculpts you. It adds more bone structure almost. And sometimes when we get older, we start to look more like we have bone structure. We're getting more skeletal, so to speak, in our face because we're losing all that fullness. So honestly, contouring is going to add more skinniness and skeletal features, whereas leaving it off is going to keep that fullness effect. So it just depends on what you need. If you have a more full face already, you know, maybe a more round face, you might still want to contour with mature skin. Bronze is a little different because it's just going to give you more sun-kissed, you know, spots too. So you may still want that, but I wouldn't go too overboard. But I'm just not wearing any bronze or contour right now. And the last thing we'll do is lips. I'm going to go ahead and pop on a little bit of lip liner. You could just go straight in with the lips. I'm going to take it out of that same multi-use palette. I might just use my finger for this, or y'all can use a lip brush, whatever you prefer. But I'm going to take that bright color in the middle there, which doesn't match my red shirt today. I'm going hot pink. But look at that. And there you go. Now, I do want to kind of match to my, I don't know, let's take the other color, get a little bit of that pink out of it, because this other color is more warm tone, just so it doesn't stand out so much with my red shirt. But there you have it. All right, that just made it light pink. So just pretend I'm wearing pink today so it doesn't clash. All right, but that is pretty much it. I don't have her setting spray to like lock this all in, but I wanted to get a feel for like a good bit of her products, especially ones everybody's recommended. And I am in agreement with you guys. I think that you won me over and I am seeing the appeal. I think you just have to find the right products from Laura Geller. I think there are definitely some good products that do work for mature skin. I think that you guys need to know what they are though. Has she won me over? Am I a Laura Geller fan? On some things, yes. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys if you've been curious. And for those that have been around here and followed my Laura Geller journey, I hope that this was entertaining for you to see Cher transform before your eyes. All right, guys, so make sure that if you love lots of mature skin topics in beauty, lots of just beauty reviews in general, beauty boxes, and lots of things that we try here, you want to stick around and hit that subscribe button and join the family. Would love to have you, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one. Bye.